Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new installment of MACOMBMETALCORE podcast. Very, very excited for this one. This is one I've been looking forward to for a while, to doing an episode about this. If you can tell, a little sunburnt, voice is partially gone, and there's one place to thank for that, and that's Daytona Beach, Florida. My voice is gone, so my apologies on my voice sounding like this. It's not my fault. Well, I mean, like, it is my fault, actually, but I do it all over again. That was awesome. So if you guys are new here, you haven't been watching, I just got back from Welcome to Rockville yesterday in Daytona Beach, Florida. It was the biggest festival that Danny Wimmer has ever put on. You look in all of the Welcome to Rockvilles, all of the Sonic Temples, all of the Aftershocks, all of the Louder Than Lifes. This is the biggest one he's ever done. If I'm being honest, I didn't know that this many people in the world actually listen to this kind of music, and to see it all come to fruition and see all those people, it was definitely a moment. Because we were there all 4 days. We had the 4-day weekend pass. We were there all 4 days. And I talked to some dude from Germany. I didn't talk to this guy, but I was walking by, and there's a guy from Australia there. Saw a lot of dudes from Michigan, which I thought was pretty cool. There are a lot of dudes wearing Tigers jerseys, Tigers hats, Red Wings hats, Red Wings shirts. I didn't see any Lions gear, though, which is strange, but that's a different story for a different day. But no, there was a lot of people there. I believe it was 160,000 or something like that for the 4-day weekend, in total, which, at least in my head, seemed a little less. If you would have told me that there were 1 million people there every single day, I probably would have believed you. It was insanity. I've never seen that many people in my life in a single place, which I guess is pretty normal. But if you go to the Super Bowl, I don't think you see that many people. Maybe it was just because it was that many people at one stage, for Pantera, that many people there, or during Avenged Sevenfold, or during Tool, or during Slipknot. Just all those people staring into the souls of that stage. It was definitely a weird feeling. Crazy, but insane. Weird's probably not the right word, but it was an insane feeling to be a part of. And I'm so lucky that I got to be a part of this. This was it was the best weekend of my life, and that's putting it simply, to say the least. There's so many good things that happened, so many fun things, so many cool bands I saw, so many new songs I've got to listen to now, and so many bands I get to see I guess there were 4 bands I got to see for the first time, or 5. Yeah, there was 5 bands I got to see for the first time, and then times I've seen a band 8, or not 8, but multiple times. You guys know what I'm getting at. It was a phenomenal weekend. It was nice. It was supposed to rain every single day in the forecast, so I was very, very worried that a lot of the shows were going to get canceled or postponed or doing a lot shorter set lists. And the only thing that sucked is, so Thursday is when we flew in. Thursday is when the festival started. And so, we're driving there, and as we're driving there, it starts to, it's just a little sprinkle, so all right, it's fine. But, the whole time we're driving there, I'm staring at these clouds, and I'm like, those clouds don't look good. And as soon as we're about to pull in, pay $40 for parking, which was a completely different thing, I checked my phone. I saw that it was postponed due to severe weather in the area. There's a ton of lightning. It was actually a pretty wicked thunderstorm. And so, it was very understandable that it was canceled. So Thursday, we were going to get there about 5-ish, and then it got postponed. So we just hung out at this restaurant nearby until we were allowed to come in. And then the only thing that sucked this weekend, the only thing is I did miss both my Valentine, who I was super excited to see. I've never seen them live. I've been dying to see them for a while. I feel like they're from a different country. It's they don't come here as often as say Motionless in White does or something like that. I don't know. It's just the first band that popped in my head. And so I've been dying to see them, and the line to get in on Thursday after everybody had to leave and come back in was the most insane thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, that line went a mile long, and, like, it sounds like an exaggeration, but, like, we were on the Daytona 500 speed track, the Daytona International Speedway, and it was so far, like, you couldn't see anything. So many people, every single person who was there that day was trying to get in right there. So I did miss both of my Valentine, but I did hear Tears Don't Fall from the parking lot and saw, like, one screen of the stage. So, like, I kind of saw Tears Don't Fall, I guess, but it doesn't count. But the good news is just by chance, I missed them. Super excited to see them this weekend, and I missed them this Sunday, which is in, 5 days. They're in Detroit. So if you're going to the Both My Valentine show in Detroit this weekend, come say hello. And if you want to, and you don't have a ticket, I need somebody to go with because I don't want to go alone. So if somebody wants to go, let's go. But yeah, so we missed Both My Valentine, but Thursday we saw Pussifer, who was really strange, but, like, I enjoyed my time. And then, well, because we want to be close for Slipknot, and I don't even know who the other headliner was on Thursday. I'm trying to think. Oh, Rob Zombie, and I've seen Rob Zombie. I don't feel a need to see him again. So we decided to go see the Cult at the one stage, and then just camped that stage out while we waited for Slipknot. And it was one of the smartest things we've ever done. So we saw the Cult, and, like, I couldn't tell you a single song by them. Still can't. But they're actually, like, a really good sounding band. I was pleasantly surprised. They sounded, like, very, very good. And so I definitely enjoyed my time seeing them. And then Slipknot tore the house down. I thought that was the craziest it was going to get this weekend. It was the first day. I thought that was the craziest it was going to get for, like, first day, Slipknot, the Kings of Metal. I was like, that's the craziest it's going to get. I'm young. I wasn't alive during the Pantera run where the circle pits at Pantera shows back in, the 90s or whatever, 80s, 90s, whatever it was, were the size of a small mansion. So I didn't really take that into account at the time. So on Thursday it was pretty cool. Slipknot was amazing. Corey Taylor sounded as good as ever. Slipknot sounds as good as ever. It was definitely the most fun Slipknot show I've ever been to. That's my third time seeing them, and the second time I saw them, I was front row at Pine Knob in Clarkston, Michigan, and so like, well, because as soon as Slipknot came on, I was like, there's no way that, like, well, because we were, well, like, in the grand scheme of things, we were very close for the Slipknot show, and so I was like, there's no way, like this will be as good as last time. Like, it's gonna feel like a letdown because I was front row for Slipknot last time. No, it was like being there and, like, right by the pit, right by all the crowd surfers for a Slipknot show at a huge festival opening night was so much better than being front row for a Slipknot show at Pine Knob, just on a regular tour, not Fest Road show. So much better. The most fun Slipknot show I've ever been to, and they're one of the best live bands ever. If you've never seen Slipknot, like, go. Like, that's all I have to say. And then Friday, let me think, what was Friday? Oh, yeah. And then Friday was a day I was kind of looking forward to the most, because if you guys have been listening, Avenged Sevenfold is, like, probably one of my favorite, or not probably, are one of my favorite bands of all time. Been dying to see them for a long time, and, like, it just never happened. So finally being able to see Avenged Sevenfold, I was looking forward to this day the most. Super excited to see them, and so I was very excited for Friday. So Friday we got there about, we got there about 5:15, but by the time we got in, it was like 6 o'clock, and then because I really want to see Varials, but it was all the way on the opposite side of the stage, so I missed Varials, which I was kind of sad about, but they'll be around, it's okay. But we saw Motionless in White. Motionless in White puts on a great show. Like always, it's probably my 50th time I've seen them, and not actually, but Motionless in White's one of the best live bands, and they do metalcore just really well. there's nothing bad you can say about Motionless in White. And then probably with about 20 minutes left in their set, I left. I'm a huge I Prevail fan. I'm from Michigan, and then I Prevail is from Southfield, which is about 30 minutes or so from me. And so like I've been an I Prevail fan since the Blank Space days, which not a lot of people can say. And so this band always holds something really important to me. And so whenever they're in town, I have to make it. It sucks when they have a hometown show because, like, you know, I mean, like, obviously they're a huge band, but, like, they're not selling out every show, like, in the Seven Fingers on a tour. Every show in Detroit, boom, tickets are gone. And you better hope that you get them because resale is a joke. So I got to see I Prevail again. A phenomenal set. I'm trying to think. Body Bag Live was phenomenal. They opened with Bow Down. It was awesome. I Prevail is one of the best live bands ever. And the cool thing about I Prevail, too, is I think deep down inside me, in my head, I Prevail is going to headline shows like this in 10, 20 years. Or probably not 20. In like 5 to 10 years, I Prevail is going to headline shows like these. And I think that they're going to be like the new age, like, I mean, like, obviously not like not as big as Slipknot, but like a Parkway Drive type where they're headlining shows for being a metalcore band. I guess Parkway Drive's more of a metal band, but y'all get what I'm saying. And speaking of y'all, after I Prevail, I ran over to Hardy. And I was actually really let down by the crowd at Hardy because I was talking to these guys who were next to me, and he was wearing a Avenged Sevenfold shirt. He was like asking me if I've seen Avenged Sevenfold, just like normal things you'd ask somebody at a concert and whatnot. And I was like, nah, blah blah blah. And we kept talking. He's like, hey man, do you know who's on the stage right now? Or like he's about to come on stage. I was like, yeah, it's Hardy. He's like, I don't even know who that is. He was like, he's awesome. I was like, he's a country guy. He's turning into a rock metal guy, and he's awesome. I like, it was my first time seeing him. And it was one of the most fun experience. Like, it was one of the most fun sets I saw probably all weekend and probably ever. No, but the crowd sucked. Like there's nobody who knew the words at this Hardy show. It was literally like me, and then like all these middle-aged moms who like knew every word, and everybody else was just there for the vibes. It wasn't packed at all. Like, I mean, I'm 6'3". I've got a long wingspan, and that whole time, like, I could have stood like this and started kicking my feet and wouldn't have touched anybody. There's nobody there. But then the kicker, he brought out Jerry McKinnon from A Day to Remember for Radio Song, and that was the coolest thing ever. And it was even cooler because I said it to my dad earlier in the day, and I said it to my friends earlier in the day. I was like, dude, there's something telling me that Jerry McKinnon's going to come out. That Jerry McKinnon's going to come out and do Radio Song on Friday, and Jerry McKinnon did, and it was awesome. And I think it took a lot of people for surprise because they didn't really expect, this country guy who's singing about putting his boots on to have a song with Jerry McKinnon from A Day to Remember and just absolutely kill the stage. It was phenomenal. And I'm super excited to see Hardy with Morgan Wallen next month. It was an awesome show. And then getting to the Friday main event, Avenged Sevenfold, the craziest floor I've ever been a part of. As soon as the first note got played, because I was here, and I went boom, straight out. And I was like, oh my, I did not think an Avenged Sevenfold pit would get that crazy, but it was their first, their first non-pop-up show in 5 years or whatever, and a lot of people were excited, I guess, because they opened with Game Over, which is a brand new song that's not even released to the public yet, which was the only thing I didn't like about their set. The only thing I wish that they changed is I wish that Avenged Sevenfold would have opened with Beast in the Harlot, their first real show back in 5 years, and it's just an acoustic track that gets heavy at the end, which was cool, but I just don't think that was the best song to play to open, but it didn't even matter because Avenged Sevenfold put on, in my opinion, the best performance of the weekend. They were absolutely phenomenal. It was crazy to see Shadows in real life, Sinister in real life, Johnny, Zachy, and Brooks all in real life. And closing with Little Piece of Heaven was awesome. Like, they played Nightmare, they played Buried Alive, they played Afterlife. They played the 2 new singles, which I don't care what anybody says about Nobody. Like, even if you don't like the recording, which, fine. Like, we all have like different tastes. That's okay. Watching Sinister Gates play that riff live was insanity. And in my opinion, and I saw a lot of great guitar players this week. I mean, like, I saw Zach Wilde on Saturday, for crying out loud. Sinister Gates is the greatest guitar player on this earth right now. And I've been saying that, and he proved it to me. And it's about all the pull I need. Sinister Gates is the greatest guitar player on this earth right now, and he proved it. Avenged Sevenfold was phenomenal, and I cannot wait to see them again in July. This is the most post-concert depression I've ever had in my life, and I have been like laying in my bed and sitting on my couch, just rewatching my videos from Avenged Sevenfold, and I have no idea who it is, but shout out to the guy who recorded the whole Avenged Sevenfold Welcome to Rockville set and put it on YouTube, because I did watch that last night, and I will probably watch it again tonight, because it was that amazing. Then Saturday was our long day. So Saturday was the day that like we had to brace for. Like, it was tough. A Sunday morning was painful, because we had to get there at as soon as the gates opened, because your boy, that's your boy. Sorry, my voice is gone. Met Knock Loose, and it was phenomenal. It was at 2 o'clock. It was the best $40 I've ever spent. Shout out to Revolver for putting that on. Absolutely phenomenal. I met Knock Loose. I gave Brian Garris a fist bump, and that was the coolest moment of my life. I told Brian Garris his bleached hair was cool, and it was sick. And then later in the day, I saw Knock Loose, but that's a different story. But it's not for a different day, because we're going to get to it in a little bit here. But shout out to Knock Loose. I got to meet Knock Loose, and it was insane. They're probably my second favorite band of all time, and my favorite live band of all time. And to finally actually get to meet them and just give them a fist bump and just say a sentence was insanity. And it was amazing, and I wouldn't trade that moment for the world. And plus, you got a signed poster but it didn't fit in our luggage, so I had to ship it to my house. It will be here Thursday, and I'm going to frame that, and it's going to hang up on my wall and never, ever leave. Anyway, but starting Saturday, we only got to see 2 songs from Dayseeker because by the time the Knock Loose signing ended. But Rory sounds so good live. It was my first time seeing Dayseeker. I was so excited to see him. I'm mad I only got to see 2 songs, but it was Neon Grave and Sleep Talk, so it was my 2 favorite songs by them. So it was the best 2 to see, I guess. Dayseeker was phenomenal. And then we got to see Pop Evil. I haven't really listened to any of their new stuff, and they played a lot of new stuff, which, I mean, it's good, but I kind of miss knowing the words of all the Pop Evil songs, like Trenches and Awaken the Lions, even though they did play both of those. 155, even though it's an acoustic track. But anyway, and then after Pop Evil, we went over to Rival Sons, which was pretty cool. My second time seeing them, and they're because they're not a metal band, but they're just a pure rock band, and they're a really, really good band. If you're not into all the screamy scream stuff all the time, and you want to enjoy a little just classic rock band kind of thing, Rival Sons is sick. As soon as Rival Sons ended, we went to see the Jason Bonham Led Zeppelin event or experience or something like that, and I was shocked by the amount of Led Zeppelin songs that I knew, and their lead singer sounds perfect. I now see why they call Greta Van Fleet a Led Zeppelin ripoff, which Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin event was pretty dang cool. I didn't expect to enjoy it. well, I mean, like, excuse me, I did expect to enjoy it, but I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did. And, like, I would definitely see them again. Like, they're pretty cool. We also saw 0936 earlier on Saturday, and I gave him a fist bump. That was pretty cool. And after that ended, we got to see the main event. Well, I guess not the main event, the co-main event. But the most fun set of the weekend was Knocked Loose. They opened with Deep in the Willow. I got to hear that song live. I need them to release that track, dude. I need them to release that track so badly. It's so good. And it's even cooler live. You know, it was a 45-minute set from Knocked Loose, and, like, they just did what they do. I was dripping in sweat. I thought I was going to pass out the entire time. I was actually scared for my life. But the whole time I was happy. And, like, I was okay with, like, being like, all right, well, I might pass out here, but if I pass out, I get to say I passed out at a Knocked Loose show for the rest of my life, which was going to be pretty cool. They played all the hits, Counting Worms to close it. So cool. Mistakes like Fractures. So cool. And, like, I could watch Knocked Loose every single day for the rest of my life and never get bored of it. They're phenomenal. They're so good, man. They're so good. So good. So good. And after them, we got to see Godsmack, who I've seen before. And they're also a really, really good live band. If you've never seen Godsmack, you're missing out. Well, because they have a part in all their shows where their lead singer and guitar player, Sully, he brings out a drum set. And they did a 10-minute drum solo with Sully and then the regular drummer. And they did it last time I saw him, too. So cool. It was so cool to be a part of and witness. And plus, they played all the hits. They didn't play a lot of their new stuff, which I'm not very familiar with. So I thought that was pretty cool. And Godsmack's awesome. So cool. And after them, we saw Pantera, which I said so nonchalantly. But I did get to see Pantera this weekend, which is pretty dang cool. And the whole show is basically like a dedication to Dimebag and Vinny. Which I thought was pretty cool. And seeing Cowboys from Hell, Walk, and This Love, and I'm Broken Live were all super cool. And, like, it's cool because, like, just watching Phil Anselmo, like, do the vocals, he doesn't smile, but he's so happy. But he's so angry in his voice. And seeing that live was super cool. One thing that I was worried about seeing Pantera is how Zakk Wylde was going to fill Dimebag's role. And, like, there's no way to fill Dimebag's role because he was perfect at what he did. But Zakk Wylde is as perfect as you're going to get not being Dimebag. Zakk Wylde's awesome. In my opinion, he's the second best guitar player in the world. Shout out to Sinister Gates. But Pantera was super cool. And if you're going to see them on the Metallica tour, then you're in luck because they put on a great show. It's fun. It's cool. Pantera's awesome. And there's a lot of crazy Pantera fans. A lot of that, like, that floor is pretty dang crazy. But Pantera was sick. Pantera was really cool. Then getting into Sunday. Sunday was the last day and our relaxing day because we needed it really, really badly. My body was in shambles. My dad's body was in shambles by Sunday, and it was just a relaxing day. It was nice. The only time it got a little crazy was Deftones, but we didn't get there till like 6:45 on Sunday. Like, we just got to relax all day, and first band we saw was Incubus. I knew one Incubus song going in, Drive, and Incubus put on a phenomenal show. Like I've found myself listening to Incubus like as I've been driving since I've gotten home. And just like in the airport and like on the plane, just playing Incubus. I was very, very surprised and very pleasantly surprised with just how good they were live and just like they just have good music. This was definitely probably the most shocking set for the whole weekend for me, but I really, really enjoyed it. And I would love to see them again. But like I'd like to like actually know their songs this time other than just drive. And then here's where it gets weird. My favorite new metal band is the Deftones, and it always will be. I love the Deftones with everything in my heart. They're one of my favorite bands ever. It's the second time I've seen them, and they're just a bad live band, and it hurts me to say that with everything in my heart. They're just a bad live band. But like, I thoroughly enjoyed my time because their music's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. 10 out of 10. Like, probably 12 out of 10 if you look at it like that. But just not a good live band. And it's so sad. It's so very sad. But, I mean, like the whole time, like, they played Diamond Eyes, they played Elite, they played Digital Bath, they played Rocket Skates. It was awesome. Like, I enjoyed my time. Just not a good live band, man. And it hurts so bad to say that, but it's true. And then closing it out was Tool. My second time seeing Tool, and I'm 21 years old. This is a weird world we live in. Tool is an experience. It's not like a show where there's crowd surfers. There's no moshing. It's just vibes. It's just an event. And I enjoyed my time during Tool. It was a phenomenal show. It was a perfect show. Like, Danny Carey is probably the best drummer in the world right now. And then the rest of the band just doesn't miss a note. They're perfect. They're just so strange. He said about probably 12 words to the crowd, and they just like show up and they play, and they leave, and they play the most random songs. They didn't play sober. The only songs I knew, like off the top of my head, that they played were A Fear Inoculum, and then they did 46 and 2. Then they did The Pot. Then they did like 3 songs I had no idea what they were, and then they did Numa. Then they did like 3 more songs I didn't know what they were, and then they closed with Stinkfist, and it was pretty cool. Pretty cool. It's not the most fun show, but it's definitely awesome to be a part of a Tool show and be able to say that you saw Tool, because they are perfect live. Excuse me. So, overall, Welcome to Rockville was the best weekend of my life. I met Tim the Tap Man. I met the bass player from Saliva. I met Knock Loose. It was absolutely phenomenal. My post-concert depression is going crazy as we speak. Has been for the past about 36 hours. And I want to go back. I want to do another festival so badly. So shout out to Upheaval Festival. I think I'm going to go to that because I need to go to another festival at this point. Because I'm very sad. Because I miss Welcome to Rockville a lot. It was so hot, man. So hot. So hot. So very hot. But it's okay. I am a little sunburnt. My feet hurt really bad. I walked like 50 miles this weekend. But I wouldn't change it for the world. It was phenomenal. And I would do it all over again. And also, just a side note, at these festivals, except for the live music, the most fun part is the people watching. There is so many weird moments that happen there that, like, you just can't explain unless you're there. It, like I don't even know how to describe it. Like I saw a cat in the front row at Rival Sons, and he was just vibing, having a good time. I was like, yeah, okay. Just a lot of strange outfits, man. A lot of strange people. But super, super cool. And I would do it all again, and I want to do it again. But that's all I got for you today. I am going to do another episode after this, and I'm going to post it tomorrow after I post this one, so we have more content coming. I'm really excited for the content that I have coming for you guys. Expect a lot more of it and a lot more in bundles because, now that we got this whole setup here, what's the point of the setup if I ain't going to use it? So we're going to take full advantage of this summer and being in the studio, and we're going to drop some fire content, and this podcast is going to blow up, and it's thanks to all y'all who are watching. So if you guys made it this far, I thank you guys so much for watching and listening. If you didn't, you don't even know I'm saying this, but thank you so much, and I will see you guys soon. And thank you guys for listening, and I'll see you guys soon.